Thank you very much, Venki, for that generous introduction. I appreciate your kind words, and I'd like to take this opportunity to commend the American Bazaar for inviting me to give these remarks. So let's give a big round of applause to Asif and the rest of the people doing a great job. So thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you for your warm welcome, and thank you for your hospitality. My wife Debbie, who's sitting over there, and I are proud to be associated with Philanthropy Dialogue. Our foundation has supported this endeavor since the first one in 2014, and I have had the privilege to take part in this event every single year. I'm really glad that it has become a go-to event in this timeless city. I see in this room representatives of several organizations that are doing great work both here in India, in the United States and India. Tonight's honoree, Ajay Raju, where is he? Oh, hey Ajay, I didn't see your wife, so. Ajay Raju, whom I had the pleasure of meeting for the first time at last year's Democratic Convention in Philadelphia. He has done a great and a fabulous job in representing the city of brotherly love. So congratulations to you, and thank you very much for coming. Let's give him a big round of applause. Wonderful to see you, Aju. If you have not met him, I would suggest you meet him in person. He's a great person, he's a well-recognized person, and well-known for his philanthropic engagement, not only in Philadelphia, but all over the world. So thank you. I also see the representative of the Segal Foundation. Who's somebody there from that? Thank you for thank you for coming. The American India Foundation. Thank you for coming. Pratham, anyone from Pratham? And Ekal Foundation. And all of you are doing a great job and a meaningful and substantial job in India. So it is humbling to be asked to share some of my thoughts on philanthropy, because I know that many of you in this audience are as qualified to address this topic as I am. It feels like I'm preaching the choir. Nonetheless, I'm pleased to provide my perspective and to hearing yours in return. What I want to put a spotlight on tonight is what I call power of purposeful philanthropy. Philanthropy takes many forms. Philanthropy that is of pivotal importance, in my opinion, is purposeful philanthropy. Purposeful philanthropy is making investment directed at creating a positive and meaningful difference in pivot areas that matter to the future of society. The returns on those investments are changes to conditions and are the creation of individuals who will become change agents to address those conditions. There's a distinction between a purposeful philanthropy and charity. The distinction is a critical one. The focus on charity is to provide a handout. The focus in purposeful philanthropy is to provide hand up. The focus in purposeful philanthropy is to enable and empower people by giving them a helping hand and a hand up rather than a handout. The focus in purposeful philanthropy is solving problems and is being engaged and is to create a better world, but by doing good. There certainly must be charitable support and assistance to address problems or crises in areas that's the needs of the socially and economically disadvantaged. After the horrible devastation recently by Hurricane Harvey, Irma, and Maria in this part of the world, and the flooding in Bangladesh due to monsoon rains, the importance of generous charitable giving to well-recognized groups such as the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, the Doctors Without Borders, and local nonprofit becomes evident. Charity as the sole means of philanthropy, however, has limitation. It does not get at the root cause nor change the underlying reason for the need for the charity. By contrast, purposeful philanthropy concentrates on improving circumstances and conditions. This hand-up approach can take a wide range of forms, ranging from eliminating contaminated water that poisons those who drink or bathe, into enhancing the safety of working conditions, to developing the requisite knowledge, skills, abilities, attitudes, and behavior for a person to be successful in life. The pivot point areas, the areas that can be leveraged and effectively addressed to effectuate change and achieve positive outcomes for purposeful philanthropy, are virtually endless. Let me say at the outset, it is much more rewarding to give money than to make money. It is much more rewarding to make other people successful. Our personal priority philanthropic areas are education, arts, world peace, and civic engagement. We have chosen those areas because they're important to us, because we know that improvement in them can make a substantial difference. Let me give you the short reason. I feel completely comfortable in making that prediction because in addition to giving the substantial financial support to construct the Mandarin building at Aligarh Muslim University, my wife Debbie and I also provided funding for the endowed chair on entrepreneurship and innovation in the management school. That ensured the human element would be brought into play as a part of the educational equation. Let me also say that I would not be the person that I am today if I would have not received the education at Aligarh Muslim University. Aligarh shaped my history, Aligarh shaped my story, and determined my destiny. Its principles have always guided me throughout my life, whether the time is calm or the crisis. So we see our contribution to Aligarh Muslim University as an investment that will yield exponential returns. And this is my way of saying thank you to a university that I deeply love and care, and keeping the hope alive. President Kennedy once said, "Art nourishes the roots of our culture." As you all know, art plays a pivotal role in connecting, engaging, and inspiring community. Art transcends all boundaries. Art represents the very best of our humanity. I agree with President Kennedy's perspective, and that is why I agreed to serve on the board of the Kennedy Center for the Performing Art and to invest in its progress and its programs to expose youth to the arts. We are living in an increasingly dangerous world and times. World peace is essential for the future of this planet. There's a much deadly conflict now and threats of it around the globe which must be controlled. Recognizing that, I support the U.S. Institute for Peace and the Woodrow Wilson Center, both of which bring scholars and practitioners to develop programs, try to find peaceful means for conflict resolution. India and the United States of America are the world's two largest democracies. The democracy and the diversity are the values of America and the United States, as well as India, that binds us together. Civic engagement is essential to keep those democracies vibrant and vital. The free press is one of the defining qualities of a democracy and a means for promoting civic engagement. The free press is the cornerstone of a democracy. The United States and India remain a vibrant democracy in large part because of freedom of press. The overriding responsibility of journalists is to ask the questions and also to separate the facts from the fiction. And in a free society, the free press matters, and it does matter. So my wife Debbie and I recently supported an airfreight-friendly press partnership scholarship to bring experienced journalists from India here to work at a newspaper and study at the University of Missouri School of Journalism. I named those pivot point areas and described my investment in purposeful philanthropy for illustration purposes only. Each of us must choose the area or areas that matter for our philanthropy. The essential thing is to make that choice and to invest. The size of that investment is not what counts. This act of investment is just not philanthropy, but also in non-financial aspect, such as giving time, talent, and ideas, and being a volunteer. Donating money is just a small part of philanthropy. I know that many of you have already made that choice and invested generously. I thank you for that. In closing, I would be remiss if I did not identify one final approach to charity, that is hands off. The hands off approach is really a self-ego masquerading as a philanthropic contribution. This approach is driven by what I call an edifice complex, the desire to get one's name on a building, such as a temple or a mosque or a church, with a little concern for what is being done there to improve the lot of the community or the citizens in which it resides. We need and deserve better than that. Purposeful philanthropy accomplishes this. It provides the platform for maximizing our participations and a contribution to enable India, the United States, international society, and the citizens around the world to achieve their full potential. It is a pivotal idea whose time has come. So thank you for listening to me to speak on this topic, which is of such special significance to each of us and of such critical importance to all those who benefit from our philanthropy. Let me conclude my remarks by saying that all of us have a responsibility to give our heart, our hope, our help to all those who are less fortunate, who are underprivileged, who are poor, who are socially and economically disadvantaged. It is our responsibility to make them successful. If they succeed, we succeed, India succeeds, America succeeds, and the world succeeds. So may God bless and reward you for all that you do. And thank you for your service to our country, our nation, and to India as well. It is our responsibility to give back to India and the United States. Thank you.